Well, I tell you one thing, if we had had cell phones or email and Twitter, the news media would have known about it before they did. They would have known because at first, with the freedom rides and the violence that was occurring, the news media did not know about it at first. When the media came in, it opened what we were doing up to the whole world. We had workshops in the basement of homes, in the basement of churches. And what they did, they would do, we would go through the same type of training that would actually happen to us if we were sitting on a bar stool or a stool in a restaurant. We were trained in that manner so that we could understand what was going on, so that we could make the decision ourselves, each individual, as to whether we could be a protester, a nonviolent protester. If you could not be nonviolent, then you could not be a protester. But after going through the training sessions, the simulating of the things that would happen to us on the road or wherever we were, the understanding that we were at death's door by the hands of haters, knowing all of that and knowing what we were striving for. We were striving for freedom, to be free, to be equal to every other human on the planet. That's what we were striving for.
In 1947, the Congress of Racial Equality planned a journey of reconciliation designed to test the Supreme Court's 1946 decision in the Irene Morgan case, which declared segregating seating of interstate passengers unconstitutional. An interracial group of passengers met with heavy resistance in the Upper South. Some members of the group served on a chain gang after their arrest in North Carolina. The journey of reconciliation quickly broke down. Clearly, the South, even the more upper moderate South, was not ready for integration. Freedom riders were civil rights activists who rode interstate buses into segregated southern states. James Farmer, our national director of CORE, and 13 volunteers left Washington on May 4, 1961, for Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi, and was scheduled to arrive in New Orleans on May 17. After 3 days of training in nonviolent techniques, black and white volunteers sat next to each other as they traveled through the Deep South. The Freedom Riders were split between two buses. They traveled in integrated seating and visited white-only restaurants. When they reached Anniston on May 14th, the Freedom Riders were attacked by men armed with clubs, bricks, iron pipes, and knives. One of the buses was firebombed, and the mob held the doors shut, intent on burning the riders to death. The surviving bus traveled to Birmingham, Alabama. The Freedom Riders never made it to New Orleans. Many spent their summer in jail. Some were scared for life from the beatings they received, but their efforts were not in vain. They forced the Kentucky administration to take a stand on civil rights, which was the intent of the Freedom Ride in the first place. In addition, the Interstate Commerce Commission, at the request of Robert Kennedy, outlawed segregation in interstate bus travel in a ruling more specific than the original Supreme Court mandate that took effect in September 1961. And the Freedom Riders may not have finished their trip, but they made an important and lasting contribution to the civil rights movement. Hallelujah, I'm a traveling, hallelujah.